So this is part 4 about my book, Wakey, Wake Up, Rise and Shine by me, Linda Jane W, available on Amazon. So the next thing I want to talk about is about when you recognise that you've had a health scare and you take it upon yourself to look at the emotional causes, because every physical ailment has an emotional root. And so when you realise that, it might be that you've been taken for granted, that the joy's been sucked out of your soul, that you've been so angry about this and that and the other. And actually, when we become angry, when we're triggered so much by other people and we turn angry, because it's happening so often, that becomes our personality. It's no longer a mood. If we're being triggered constantly, we become that angry person, or that depressed person, or that tearful person. We become that person because instead of it being a mood, it has now become a personality trait because it's happening so often. And that's not such a good thing, and that creeps up on us like we don't realise. I know, personal first-hand experience. So it was only when I got furious with somebody who let me down, taking me to my first follow-up hospital appointment, and because I live here in Spain, my language skills certainly at that point were nowhere near good enough to facilitate an appointment with the medics and to fully understand what was being said. And this fella let me down last minute, and I went straight into anger mode. And while I was shaking from head to foot and saying, "I'm shaking from head to foot," he said, "It's not my fault you're angry. You've chosen to be that way." And I was so indignant. It's like, what other possible emotion could there be? You've let me down last minute. And after that percolated with me for a few weeks, I realised he was right. Hated to admit it, but he was. I could have chosen from a whole range of other options, and I could have not put myself in that situation in the first place because I knew he was going to let me down. He wasn't exactly a reliable sort. So we then have to look at our triggers, what's triggering us, and or we can continue and just take the tablets and ignore everything because we're being numbed by tablets, but then we're totally stunting our own personal growth. So in order to personally grow, we can then look at our triggers, work out a different way of responding as opposed to reacting, and when we do that, the whole world opens up to us. And it's a whole learning curve. It's not something that happens overnight. We can create boundaries, and I've never been good at creating boundaries. I'm in my 50s, and I've never been good with boundaries. And when you start to create them, people don't like it because they've been breaching them for a long time and now they can't. But also, I've probably been a bit clumsy with these boundaries because it's new. It's a new skill to me. So there's all of this to learn.